And we are live. Here comes the intro. Silence. You're listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Grow Clinton is a 501c6 nonprofit economic community development and tourism organization based in Clinton, Iowa. For more information, visit growclinton.com. Again, that's growclinton.com. Now, back to the show. What's happening, everybody out there in podcast land? Thank you for tuning in to another episode, this 128th episode of the Grow Clinton podcast, recorded on the 16th day of June, 2025. As always, I am your host, Andy Sokolovich, for today's show, joined by two pros from our office. First, Jenny Home and Stacy Borgeson. So Jenny works specifically with members and does community outreach to ensure that our members notice a return on their investment and they're able to share problems where we can identify solutions. And Stacy Borgeson is the Director of Workforce Development and Talent Attraction and works with our existing industries, specifically those large employers, on identifying a workforce pipeline and providing the skill sets necessary to ensure our industries can be successful in the future. That was a lot of words.
You
right
did
there.
good. You didn't make one mistake.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
You know who else doesn't make a mistake, Jenny?
Who?
That's right. Miles Communications, folks. The Grow Clinton podcast is powered by Miles Communications, offering wicked fast, high-speed internet, supporting the Grow Clinton podcast. Check them out, milestelephone.com. Again, milestelephone.com. Also offering television and telephone services. We have a great show today, Jenny and Stacy.
Yes. One of our favorite people of all time.
Yes, in the Stu studio. Stacy, how are you?
Good. Happy Monday.
Hold on. It's a lot easier. I just pulled a Chris Streets. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Well, let's see.
Underneath the microphone right here.
Right here.
No, right here.
There she is.
We're live.
There you are.
Yeah.
There you are.
All right. Technical difficulties, but we're back in action. Let's try that again. Stacy, how you doing?
All right. Happy Monday again.
Happy Monday. All right. In the studio, we have with us the site manager at LyondellBasell, also known as LYB, here in Clinton, Iowa. Has gone by many names in the past. Well, how many names have you had now, I think, Joe?
Oh, my God. I don't even want to
Chemplex?
count. I don't even want to count. Chemplex. Oh.
Hawkeye.
No, that was different.
Lyondell,
Was that different?
Millennium,
Yeah, so many names, but now known as LyondellBasell, located right there off of Anamosa, just off of Highway 30, where they manufacture high-density, low-density polyethylene plastic pellets that are used in production of everything from kayaks to that plastic film that's inside like your fast food cup so that the liquid doesn't seep outside of that cardboard. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did. But you know, the thing always blows my mind is that if you're anywhere in the world, you could possibly be using product from
That's a fact.
this site.
That's
Yeah,
a
in
fact.
Clinton.
absolutely.
Yep.
If it's got plastic in it, it's probably from Lyondell.
So, Stacy, tell me a little bit about the genesis of this program that we're talking about today.
So the process technology program, let's date this back to about 5 or 6 years ago. So I've been around for about 5 years here, and this was something in the works at that time. We had a different plant manager there. And then let's fast forward to Joe coming in about 2-3 years ago with his super passionate heart about this program, getting these people skilled up in our area to be process technicians. So we have a partnership with EICC. We kind of brought a program to them and gave them some ideas. They do have some courses that are already on the docket per se. So we have those other courses, and we are rolling out a program here this fall.
All right. So, Joe, this is something you're very passionate about for a couple of reasons. But one, it ensures that you have high quality candidates to fit your process technology needs. So explain to us the program, how you work with Eastern Iowa Community College, the other partners, and what a student can expect when they enroll in the process technology program.
Wow. So maybe just start. I mean, this is an opportunity that has not existed up until this point. There are chemical industry jobs right here in Clinton in your backyard. LyondellBasell, ADM, 3M, Purina,
Right.
Clysar, right? I mean, you just go down the list. There's a pile of companies that have operators in their plants. They are in most of these plants, the operators make up about 50% of the workforce. So there are a lot of jobs. They are very good paying jobs. and it's a great way for kids coming out of school to get a career. But we haven't had a career path for them to do that. And that's what we've been working with. ADM, 3M, and Lyondell have been working with the EICC to get this program off the ground, identify what training needs to go into this. We modeled it after a program that we saw down in the Gulf Coast. A lot of the chemical plants down there. There's a huge footprint of chemical industry.
Huge, like as far as the eye can see, it's chemical industry. So now, Joe, before we get into the guts of the program, you were alluding to the fact where you would be approached at like the grocery store, and a mother would come up to you and say, Joe, I know you're the site manager at LyondellBasell. I want my son or my daughter to work there. How do I get them in? And what was your response at that time?
That was the worst feeling I have ever had in my life. You know, it was just after I got here, and I had a mom do exactly that. She asked me how I could get my kid a job out there. And you know, the answer was, well, we hire experienced people, so he needs to go get a job someplace else. Come see me in about 5 years. What an awful answer to give to somebody.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I was really impressed with Joe because the first time I met him, he said, and I didn't know you then, you said that, do you guys do any kind of like a process technology program up here? And I'm going, huh, what? And he told me what it was. And I said, no. I said, I think that's been in the works for a while. And I said, so good luck. And you went, oh no, this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And sure enough, you did it.
Yeah.
So now we have the pipeline. We have the opportunity. We have the programming right here in our own backyard. What can students expect when they enroll in the process technician certificate program?
Okay, so a couple of things. Starter, let's go back to the application, right? You know, Grow Clinton is putting out a newsletter every week. It's in there. It's got a QR code for how you sign up for the class, right? So that's the first thing. And then, in addition, there are a bunch of scholarships available. So EICC is offering 10 scholarships. LyondellBasell is offering 5, and the other partners are doing the same. So frankly speaking, if you sign up for this class, there's a good chance you're going to get a scholarship to get started off in a 2-semester course.
And if you hustle, you can get it done in 1.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for students coming out of high school. It's a great opportunity for vets coming back, trying to figure out where they're going to fit in the workforce. If there's somebody out there who wants to make a career change, right? These are really good paying jobs. I mean, the average wage in Iowa for a process technology person is $56K a year. Now, I'll tell you flat out, at LyondellBasell, you start at about 70 to 75K, and you work up within 4 to 5 years, you're up to 6 figures, 100K plus. So it's a really, really great opportunity to have a really wonderful career and a wonderful life.
And it's amazing how kids, you're at that age, you're a senior in high school, you don't know what you want to do. It's so overwhelming. And it just looks like your future's so far down the road. But this doesn't seem like that. I mean, this is so manageable, and you can see the end right away.
Right. I mean, a lot of kids go on to university and learn a particular discipline, and then get a job. You know, I'm a chemical engineer myself, so I went to a 4-year school. But that is not for everybody. And you know, just because you don't go to university doesn't mean you got a great brain on your shoulders, right? Mm-hmm. So it's an opportunity for somebody who doesn't want to go to 4-year school to get the training that they need to be successful in a chemical plant. And then once you're you're making some good money. Whatever you want to do in your career, you have the opportunity to do. I mean, a lot of the operators that started as operators in our plant are doing different things now. They get into maintenance. You know, the workforce in our plant is about 10% maintenance. So there's not as many jobs available there. But, you know, when one comes up, I'm going to hire a guy inside that I know been working for me for a long time. That's who I'm going to put there before I go to the street. So there's an opportunity there. We've got operators who are project managers. They run big projects for us. I love to tell this story. We have 2 plant managers down on the Gulf Coast who are both they started their career as an operator, right? So, and there's one guy, our largest facility is in Channelview, Texas. It employs 3,000 people. The plant manager of that site started as an operator in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And that's what this program will set you up to do. You can be anything you want, but this gives you the financial means to get to wherever you want to be.
Yeah.
Without the crushing debt from student
Exactly,
loans.
right? I mean, you're talking about 2 semesters at a community college versus 4 years at a whole lot of money, right?
2 semesters at a community college with the strong potential to receive a scholarship.
Scholarship as well, yeah.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, I can tell you right now, if I was 18 years old, 19 years old, bringing home 70 to 75K with an average earning of about 56K, my parents would have been elated.
Heck yeah.
I remember I got my first paycheck in the Air Force, and that whole paycheck went to my car payment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So great opportunity. And, one thing is obviously as young professionals, these students look at the gross earning potential. But as you said, Joe, there's a tremendous amount of opportunity for career advancement. And really that's what you need to look at as well, is what's my next step? Where do I go from here? Because not every career field offers that. I mean, specifically, like we look at us here at Grow Clinton. I mean, if I want to get promoted, I have to leave. And that's not necessarily something that happens to happen at Lyondell. You can continue to work through the ranks. You can shift your location within the plant if you choose to, based on, what you really like and what you feel clicks with your personality and your strong mindset, and then advance from there. So again, you can go to Eastern Iowa Community College's website. This is a very simple application process. I have the link here in the show notes, but you just go to Eastern Iowa Community College. You just search process technology or process technician. You'll be presented with a short synopsis of the coursework, and then you click on the link and somebody will reach out to you to help you register, or you can do it simply online. And then those that graduate will receive a certificate, correct?
Correct. And we'll be doing a career fair at the end of the course. That's ADM, 3M, LyondellBasell. We're going to be doing a career fair, interviewing everybody who goes through this course, and be looking to place people.
So it's a guaranteed interview.
Yes,
for the graduates.
It is. Yeah.
When you
That's
get into
awesome.
the courses, what do they look like? Let's say your first semester. What are you looking at when you go in?
Okay, so there's going to be some basic math, basic chemistry, and I'm not talking about university chemistry to drop you out of the course, right? This is just some basic concepts that you need to know to be able to work in a chemical plant. It is not rocket science. Okay. Safety is a big portion of it. So there's a section, and that's really throughout everything is going to be talking about safety. That's very important in the chemical industry. There's a section on quality, and then we get into the meat of the course. There's 3 main courses, process technology courses that teach the students about the kinds of equipment that are in a chemical plant, and how they all fit together in a process. And then there's a final section that kind of talks about how it all works together and how you control the plant and troubleshoot, right? So it's really setting them up so that when they get to a chemical plant, they got an idea of what's going on in there. And then they learn the specifics of the of each plant, depending where they get hired. The coursework will involve some classroom training when we're talking about these P-Tech courses. There'll be classroom training, and then there'll be training at each of the facilities. So you'll go to ADM for a period of time and see what you're learning about in class. You'll go to 3M, do the same, and you'll come to LyondellBasell and do the same. Frankly speaking, it was really neat when we started doing it, putting this all together. Every chemical plant has the same basic kinds of equipment, process equipment. We use it under different conditions, temperatures, pressures, flow rates, that kind of stuff. But it's the same basic kind.
Yeah, you're moving liquid from point A to point B.
Right. So you get students understanding how that all works, and then when they walk in the chemical plant, they're ready to go. And we consider this experience because you're learning right there about the in the classroom and in the plant. So
you could find somebody that has 3 to 5 years experience, but specifically for those involved, Lyondell, 3M, and ADM, that the course structure and what's being offered through Eastern Iowa Community College is what you were looking for.
exactly.
So somebody may have learned bad habits over those 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, right.
And you don't have to worry about that with these graduates. Again, this is Eastern Iowa Community College. We're talking about the Process Technology Certificate Program available at EICC. In the studio has been Joe Hoinkis, the site manager at LyondellBasell, one of the 3 partnering industries that are going to offer a guaranteed interview with those that graduate from this program. So we talked about students that are coming out of high school, getting enrolled in this program. We also talked about veterans that are making their transition out of active duty to civilian life, getting enrolled in this program. But also you mentioned, which I think is great for our listeners, if you are ingrained already in a career, but maybe you're looking to change, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, studies have shown time and time again, this new generation will shift quite a bit between the time they get into their first professional position till the time they get the gold watch and retire. They may shift jobs 5, 6, 7 times. So if you're in a position right now that you just don't feel is beneficial, it's not paying you what you think you deserve, you're not able to leverage your unique skill sets, considering registering for this course. Again, it's a certificate program, 2 semesters. It's designed for 2 years, but if you hustle, you can get it done over a single year.
Actually, the 2 semesters can be accomplished in a year. So
Oh, that's awesome. So
Wow.
get it done. So yeah, nose to the grindstone and knock it out. But kudos to you, Joe, and kudos to the entire group that was involved in this. I mean, we engaged in this conversation a long time ago. As Stacy said in the beginning, it's been about 5 years. We use San Jacinto Community College down in Houston. Is that in Houston?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is,
okay.
yeah.
As the example, and we were able to pull some of their curriculum and just plug it into what we're already offering here at Eastern Iowa Community Colleges. And the instructor for this course is a retired gentleman from your plant, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So Brian Conzit is the guy who's training this. He's actually put the detailed course plan together, and he will be instructing the classes. So he was an operator at LyondellBasell. He actually did a little bit of time at ADM as well.
Very good.
So he knows both of those
Knows-
facilities.
yeah.
He was an operator, a supervisor. Then in the latter part of his career, he was in charge of training at our facility. So he's like a shoe-in for this kind of
Yeah.
Sounds like a
role.
perfect fit.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
He's a really great guy. Good. He's going to be a really good instructor, and I think we're going to have a great way to keep our, to grow our community with this program. I mean, if you think about it, right now, without a career path, kids are getting a job when they get out and thinking, "Oh God, I can't really get anything here in Clinton," and they leave, right? And they don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're hiring people who are, outside the area instead of folks that are right here in town, right?
Yeah.
So it gives them a clear path straight into a great paying job and a way to build their career. So it keeps people in the community. It helps us grow the community. These new potential partners that Grow Clinton is working to bring additional industry into the area. This is the way to do that, right? It when somebody comes, one of the first things they're wondering is, where do I get my workforce, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now we have a way to say, this is the way you do it, right? And we've got chemical plants in the area that are already using the program.
No, we just shared it the other week, actually, because we had a company contact us and they asked that same question. Often we do what's called a labor shed analysis, where we identify how many individuals 16 ages and over are seeking employment or currently employed but willing to leave their job for another employment opportunity. And those numbers are impressive. I mean, it's hundreds of thousands when we look at ourselves as a MSA or a region to include the Quad Cities. But this program speaks to the action-oriented effects of putting something together specifically for existing industry with the hopes and the plan that we can retain our bright young men and women that graduate high school. And, one of the things that I've noticed ever since I've been involved in economic development, 2015, is, there's a lot of poaching that goes along for me, around different industries within the community. As you see somebody working at company A one day, they're at company B the next day, and that's how they kind of hop to make that hierarchy of pay scale. And we like to be able to see them ingrain themselves into a career and serve that company for the duration of their professional career. And having this certificate under your belt proves that you are motivated, inspired, and willing to do what it takes to earn that potential income.
Exactly.
It's a new model for people getting out of high school for sure.
Yeah.
And not even that. Like I had a friend, he said, well, how does this work for 40-year-olds? And I was like, it works just the same
Just
for
the same.
anybody else. So, I mean, yeah, it's not just for those high school kids, like you said, or the veterans. It's anybody that's looking to make a change and make some good money.
And it's a hybrid model. So what I love is I'm not a huge fan of cheeks in the seat, death by PowerPoint, tests, like that stuff's all great. But my ADHD kicks in every once in a while and it's squirrel and I stop paying attention. But knowing that I'll have the opportunity to move my body into one of these plants and apply the knowledge that I've been learning as part of the course requirement to graduation, that's huge. Yeah. I think that's really cool.
It's a focus on what you need to know to be successful in this particular career, and not a whole lot of other stuff that you may or may not ever use.
No.
I learned a whole lot of stuff in university, and I don't use a lot of that stuff every day in my
No
career,
filler.
right?
You're just straight to it.
So this is really focused efficiently on what's important for the role, and if you apply yourself to it, learn that information, you're going to use it, and you're going to be in a really great.
And you're guaranteed
career.
to get a look.
Yeah, exactly.
By your hiring.
It's awesome. No, this is a streamlined approach to creating a career awareness pipeline with the end goal, obviously working and supporting our existing industries. Again, we're talking to Joe Hoinkis, the site manager at LyondellBasell here in Clinton, Iowa. Again, I want to thank Joe for joining us on the podcast. I want to thank Stacy for your work in facilitating these conversations. Again, Grow Clinton doesn't create curriculum, neither does LyondellBasell, right? It's partnerships with the community college, the accredited agency that can provide these certificates that make it all happen. So Brian Kelly, the president of Clinton Community College, is a great partner. Prior to coming to Clinton, he did a lot in the northwest portion of the country, really focused on creating these career pipelines. So this was kind of old hat for him. And, we all know that education doesn't move super quickly. But I will say, since Joe moved here and Brian right around the same time, your efforts have definitely greased the gears, pun intended, to make sure that we get this program launched and available. So registrations are now open. So again, if you go to Eastern Iowa Community College, I think it's EICC.edu, you can check that out. Just search process technology. The application's very easy. If you're a parent and you got a kid who you're like, they're just going to live in my basement till they're 36. Now's the time to start motivating them. And what motivates 16 and 17-year-olds? Cash. That's what it is. The reward for their investment in time and earning education and ultimately applying themselves at an employer here in the greater Clinton region will result in a decent salary, very competitive salary. So if you don't want them raising your utility bills by cranking the air conditioning down to 68 during the day while you're out there sweating, working hard to pay the bills, get them out of your basement. Have them go work at Lyondell, 3M in Cordova, or ADM here in Clinton. Again, process technology program, certificate program, and scholarships are available.
That's correct.
Jenny? Yes.
What do you think about this?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
too.
As a parent, if I would have known this would have been in the ball game for my kids to do it. It'd been a great idea. And I cannot get over how quick it is. And not quick,
No,
but valuable.
You're
Quick,
it's like
quick,
it's like a
valuable.
special operations tactical team of operators.
Yeah, not having to worry about the student loans afterwards. They crush people, and
yeah, tell me about it.
I know. And
I don't have any, but my wife has a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, the thought of 4 years versus a semester if you hustle. and then you're on to a job and you're getting a guaranteed look at for an interview. So that's,
Yep.
thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Stacy. Thank you, Jenny, for being the co-host as always. We're going to be doing some modifications to the old podcast studio here. It was very cool. We had a friend of ours and investor in Grow Clinton, Angie Gable, Dr. Gable,
Yes.
Gable Chiropractic here in Clinton. Her brother, Ted, T-E-double-D, was in town from Arizona visiting his parents, and he has a stellar podcast by the name of FinTech Confidential. Everything about finance technology. Do I understand it? No, not at all. But 50,000 people a month that download his podcast to understand it. So he was using our studios while he was here visiting his parents and provided some feedback and some insights on how we can make this location even better. So, of course, I got some work cut out for me.
I can't
do
wait.
some maintenance.
I'm
but-
always happy to come in and go, wow, what happened?
yeah, what's that now? So, yeah, always something. And I've become the resident plumber here in the Grow Clinton office. I think I fixed every single toilet in this building multiple times over the last 2 weeks. So I don't know how well I fixed them since they continue to break. But
We'll find out.
but this is how you learn. OJT, on the job training, other
That's right.
duties as assigned. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you had an amazing weekend, Joe. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, thank you to Miles Communications, milestelephone.com, for hooking us up with wicked fast, high-speed internet. If your internet's slow, it's lagging, you can't even stream Netflix, you're doing it wrong. Go to milestelephone.com. See if they're in your neck of the woods. If not, they are on their way. Again, milestelephone.com. I've been your host for today's show, Andy Sokolovich, President and CEO, Grow Clinton. Until next time, folks, go ahead and just stay classy. Thank you for listening to the Grow Clinton podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow us on all your socials. Until next time, see ya. All right, let me cancel the old stream here.